Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred.
Real talk with George and Frazier. What's going on, brother?
Not much the usual. Having a blast right now.
Man, I can definitely dig it, man. Every time you rub your hands, we got a great show.
You already know that.
Okay.
We got a banger.
All right. I'm pretty excited about this myself. Let's bring her right into the show. Welcome to Real Talk.
Well, hello.
How you doing?
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Good.
Time for talking to us today. I do apologize. I didn't say your name. I didn't want to butcher it. I think
Yeah.
It's Travian.
Travian, right?
Travian Vann, yeah.
Travian Vann. All right.
You
So
A lot
know,
of
man.
people like, I don't want to say it because I don't know for sure if I'm saying it right or not. So yeah. It's great. It's a great thing for a fashion designer. It said when people can't pronounce your name, that means you got a great name, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Definitely got a great brand. That being said, like I said, welcome to Real Talk. And thank you for taking the time out of your
Thanks for
day
having me on.
to speak to us. Tell the listeners and the fans a little bit about yourself, your
I
brand.
heard somebody's phone go off, so let me do the same thing and turn mine off.
I'm trying to people calling every see what happened to you. At least space will call you, they don't call you. But
Yeah,
soon as they don't want to call you, they
Look,
call you
I
all
know.
day.
Believe me, I said let me go ahead and turn mine off too, because it'll be my niece or somebody calling in the next 5 minutes. They don't say no for. They don't take no for an answer.
That's so
We
true.
try to do nothing for them. But
Absolutely.
just to explain who I am, my name is Travian Vann. I am a fashion designer. I am actually in Virginia. An odd place to be a fashion designer, but it has worked for me. And I started designing in 2012. Well, that's when I first learned how to sew.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have like a story that a lot of people have, like when their grandmother taught them at the age 9 and things like that. I don't have that story. My mom tried to teach me, but I was a sports head, so I was playing sports and climbing trees back then. So I always loved fashion, and somehow along the way, I opened a boutique in 2010 and 2012. I just learned how to sew, and people threw me into what I do now. So here I am. That's my story.
Okay. It's a great story. So let me ask you the question: what motivated you to sew? Because normally by that time you can usually hire somebody to do it.
Well, what motivated me to sew? Well, I came up with this idea of like a bow tie in 2012. Like I said, I had a boutique already, and my mother. See, I told you my phone was gonna go off, right? My mother was actually sewing them for me, but the orders started going in. That start coming in real strong. So she kind of made me sit down at the sewing machine
Mm-hmm.
so I could help her.
Right.
And the day that I did, I'm like, this really isn't that hard.
Right.
So I was like, hey, let me try something else. I had people, I was taking it apart like stuff in the thrift store, adding sleeves, whatever, and people were like bringing their stuff, and I was like, okay, it's not that bad. And then I made a dress. For someone, and when she wore it, like a lot of people started contacting me.
Right.
And next thing after that, it was a prom girl. There was a wedding gown, and I've done red carpets, since that time. So I think what motivated me to like sew was the whole point of not actually trusting a manufacturer at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to the point where, like if I make it, I know it's right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But as I'm getting in, more depth of trying to do different things, I am pursuing manufacturing now. I'm about to do that now. So you will see, I will be at the sewing machine less.
Right.
But I'm at that point where I can mentally do it now. At first, I'm like, I don't know what they're about to see me over here. Like, I know me. I can trust myself. But if I get somebody to send this gown and then it's messed up, I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's a big part of people who actually learn how to design. Mm-hmm. It's that whole point of actually trusting another company to do it for you. So that was like my problem, but I'm getting over that because I'm tired of sewing.
Okay. Do you think that has helped you in a way? What I mean by helped you is the fact that because you know how to design and know how to sew, you can give the instructions properly and say, okay, I want it like this particular layer, this fold on these dimensions, X, Y, and Z, and you don't get over. Because I know being a business owner with Frazier myself, a lot of times we try to delegate, but people, when we delegate, they send us back stuff that they want to send us, not the instructions that we gave them, so to speak.
Exactly.
You see what I mean? Is that a plus for you or a minus? Because really finding hard people, I mean, good people is very hard. Excuse me.
I think that's a plus. I think once you do something, you kind of can pinpoint like what looks right and what doesn't.
Hmm.
Cause I have a habit of when I go to like a store, I'm like, that sleeve is not in there right. You know, like I'm just looking at things like that is not right. But I feel as if I didn't create it, I wouldn't know what to look for. I'm like, oh yeah, it looks nice. But when you see it on someone, you're like, okay, that's good. But when you design, you're like, no, 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 no. This should have been a little bit further. This should have been, and I think at this moment, I do give them a little bit of a hard time because I want it right. And anything, I'll still be able to put my touch on it at the end, but I don't regret learning how to sew.
Right.
Because just the way this world is going, who knows when I might have to pull that crack back out.
Right.
Well, who knows? We might beef with channel one day. I don't know, and
Right.
I have to learn how to sew all over again. So I think that's a trade that people have stopped doing. Like I think a lot of times, even as African Americans, I feel like it's a lot of trades that we don't touch. And we should, because back in the day, if you look back in the day, we were the ones designing for people.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't get credit, we were the people in the background sewing, and you could get all the way back to 1800s with that, with us starting the first type of manufacturing companies. It was a Black woman who actually did it. Her name was Sarah. Pretty much. She started a whole like manufacturing, and then you can go to Zelda Valdez. That's you looking between the 50s and the 70s with that. She started her own manufacturing company, and Lowe, she did the gown for Kennedy's wife, Jackie Onassis, and she didn't get credit for it, but she was the woman behind it. So I think that's a skill that we pretty much like threw out. And took it overseas, but we just didn't continue to learn it. My mother, she was a seamstress, and she worked in the factory. And by the time I was born, she stopped. But after a while, after that, it's kind of like just migrated out. She just sold like for Calvin Klein and things like that back in the day. Gloria Vanderbilt, those kind of jeans and stuff. But that kind of like went out the way. So I think it's a trade that people should actually, take up.
Well, let me just ask you another question or follow up with that, so to speak, because every time we hear seamstress designer, we always think it's expensive. Like you were saying back in the day, we used to have our suits made because Black people really were not allowed to go and shop in the white stores with the white people.
Exactly.
And, the suits weren't that expensive. I mean, it was expensive for our money. So $50 to $75 for a suit was real money. $25 for a suit for real money. But those suits were actually cut for you. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it when it came to that. And materials were cheap because a lot of the cotton came from the South. Do you feel like a lot of us take shortcuts by saying, okay, well, let's just go to a K&G as opposed to getting a dress designed by a professional designer or getting a suit cut? Because I'm a bigger person. Like there's no suit on the rack that can fit me. So I have to get it's called an athletic fit at K&G, where the waist is tapered and the shoulders are a lot broader. That's the only way. And then they still have to cut them down for me when I buy them.
Well, as I talk to my mom and I look at the cost efficient part of fabric now, it's a little bit different. Being that I think a lot of times being that it is a skill that is taught and not that common, we charge a little bit different. Now, I will say a lot of times it's people then to do things called made to order. Which you might come in and do your measurements and it still gets shipped overseas. So there's no middleman with that. There's no middleman in fabrics, nothing like that. Most of the time, the tailor, whatever, if that person isn't necessarily creating it and they're pretty much just sending over your measurements, they'll probably have a book they're looking through. The fabrics are available. They're contacting that manufacturer overseas and blah, blah. And it's still it's still made to your measurements and it'll fit. You know, it's still that's a new way, and that's something that I'll be offering in the future. But I will say, doing it myself, it's expensive, and I don't lie to people in reference to that. A gown, you can make and go in Davis Bridal and find a gown for under $2,000. You're not going to do that with me. My wedding gowns, they begin at $5,000. So I have those clients who can afford me. I'm not everybody's taste, you know, pretty much with my budget. And there are people that I will get into this subject in a second. I'm gonna tell you, there are people who come to me and pretty much they know, because on my website I don't hide anything. I pretty much like, hey, this is where it starts off at. And if you go select that consultation, you already knew that, right?
Right.
Exactly.
So we're not doing negotiations when you come through the line. Like, no. So I think with that, with fabric costs and me actually creating and doing that, it's a little bit different than it was in the past. I'm not exactly sure of how cheap fabric was back then, but they were charging $75 for a suit. They must be getting that fabric for like a couple of cents or something like that. So, you know, I wish I was back then. Yeah. Because I even researched Zelda Wynn Valdez. And the crazy thing about her, when she was designing for Ella Fitzgerald and people like that, you know, they still was paying like $1,000 to $2,000 for her gowns.
Yeah.
For her to do that back then.
That's them money. That right now is about $250,000. Yes.
I'm like, they were paying $1,000 to $2,000 back then. You think you're gonna get it for what today? You know, like, it had that on my wall. Like, it says it, how much the gown cost, you know, just for a reason. But I know that fabric itself has grown. Like, it is a lot. Like, bridal fabrics for me, sometimes it can be $200 some a yard. Yeah. So. And it has beading and things like that. And I had to add more beading on it. So even the idea that people want a lot of the times, it's for me to do it for under $1,000, I'll be wasting my life. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. So that's another reason why I am kind of going towards the manufacturing part. Of course, with me, I'm hands-on. So I most likely when it gets here, I'll still be doing something to it.
Yeah.
That's a thing right there. Now, I will say that there are some people who don't charge what they're supposed to charge.
Okay.
And that and sometimes I feel like in the profession, when you're trying to compete with other designers, or if you're depending on your hairstyle, competing with another hairstyle or whatever it is, I feel like some people undercharge their worth.
Yeah. And
it makes it harder for people who know their worth.
Right.
And you're like, because you have people like, well, such and such charge that. You know, I'm slicking my phone up. You seen my personal Instagram, Travian Nicole. I tell you what it is. Go ahead, go that way. You know. Now my business page, I'm more like, you know, I don't really. My assistant kind of handles a lot of that because I don't need to be talking too much. Yeah. But on that other page, it's more like, well, bye. You know, what that person can do it for that cost. By all means, go ahead, but I can't, you know, with my risk and everything like this, I have to charge the way I'm charging because I'm not going to do, for what I charge, some people charge, they'll do 3 gowns before they make that amount. And I make 1 for that amount. So I had to kind of, you know, scale up to get more of an income coming back per piece.
No, I understand. That's the same thing that happens in real estate. You know, when you look, you get a contractor and a contractor gives you a budget. But by the time you look at that budget and say, okay, you know, when you're dealing with clients, they'll be like, well, why don't you go with that guy? He was $15,000. Your guy is $25,000.
Yeah.
I said, because by the time he gets done with that $15,000 is going to be $45,000 because he didn't include this. In the middle, you're going to have change orders because it's not what you want. He's going to charge you for that. Yeah. He's just trying to get the job because that's what they do. You see what I mean? Yeah. But there's all these other pieces. Oh, well, I'm going to go with him. Then, you know, a month later, George, can you talk to this guy, this, that, and the third? Nope. All right, I cannot. I told you that in the beginning, and you decided that's what you had to do. You know? And I literally go back in sometimes when they don't finish the job and just, okay, now I'll buy the house from you at cost. Finish the job myself. Boom, 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 X, Y, and Z, and boom, I'm out. So it's
I agree, George. That's everything. Hey, George, I'm gonna tell you, even personal training, that's the best way to do it. They do it all the time. Look at me. Oh yeah, he kind of heavy set. Wait, the guy over there, he's healthier. He built. He know what he's talking about. But then the same guy can't do half the work that I do.
That's
He
right.
goes, wow, you work way harder, but I charge more too. So cough it up. So
That's
now
right. I
you
get
went
results.
to the last guy, you come at me, you gotta pay double because why? One, you out of shape worse than you were the first time. Now you're triple lazy. Now you don't want to do nothing. I gotta go
He said triple
all
lazy.
over again. That costs money, man.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I tell the time, I'm a big dude. It takes time to run with you. I'm gonna run once, not twice. I don't hear that right.
Tell him, Fresh.
Right? You gotta tell them. I totally agree with you. So how do you do that? Okay, let me ask a question. So then you change your demographics on the bit more of your clientele.
Right.
Do you get backlash for the ones who say they can't afford you? Because you know that happens all the time.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. How you deal with that part? So
She answered it already.
you get backlash. You know what I'm talking about? Like laughing.
Fresh.
You know what I'm talking about? She looked up.
Answered it already, Fresh. Just in case people are watching.
Have I been there? That's why my Instagram is entertaining because for those type of people, if you have it turned to comedy skits for me, you know, I turned it turned and this guy I got footage, I got a lot to add, you know, like sometimes I'm like, no, I ain't gonna post that one because you know it turns like I'm a goofy person, right? So a lot of times when the client comes to me, they're serious at first, but then I'm gonna laugh. Like I'm gonna find a way to laugh. That's just me. This, you know, whatever. So that's why I had the Travian Nicole because I'm able to like, y'all know what? I've had this situation before, and I'm sure you will too. So let me go ahead and make laughter out of it, right?
Right.
But I have had those people who are like, who she think she is? Why she charging that much? You know, but they don't really understand. People just want their product, you know. People just want the product for what they want it for.
Exactly.
With social media, it put in people's brain that I have to have this, I want that, and not realizing that I don't have the funds to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people like, you know, I'm just getting the point where I can afford myself. Now, when I was first designing, I'm like, I can't even afford myself, you know.
Right.
That's the reality. I wasn't looking for me.
Mm-hmm.
I had the ideal client that I was looking for.
Right.
And it's crazy because me finding those particular clients, like I got clients like millionaires, all right, you know, and them stroking the check each month when they need something, it ain't nothing to them. They're like, girl, I got this day. Sometimes I look, girl, I can't do it.
Right.
They look like, why? Because I got 3 more of you needed something this month, you know, like I gotta like call them ahead and tell like, hey, you got anything planned for this month? Because I have private clients other than I don't always post everybody that I design for. Yeah. So I prayed for my particular clientele. And a lot of my brides, they're not in Virginia. I get clients that come from all different kind of states that fly in, drive in. And I've even created for people in the UK, you know? So I think a lot of times you have to speak into the atmosphere what you want.
Right.
And I have a habit of doing that now. Like at one time it was me being frustrated a lot, but now I just pretty much speak who I want, you know, and I get that and it comes to me. The business deals come to me because I changed my whole way of thinking.
Right.
I got tired of the penny pinchers. They will see something, and I don't do prom anymore because prom is a whole nother subject, you know. They just, and if I do anything, it's considered evening gown, and I changed the wording because you needed to know that it's evening gown. It's just I don't have a prom price, you know, like. Right. And if a lot of designers actually did that, that would help them out a lot too, because when it comes to that time of the year, they're like, hey, I'm doing prom, and they're doing these cheap gowns and, you know, working themselves so much. But when the prom is over with, they don't have anything else because you've given to the world that all you do is prom gowns. So what I did was kind of change my wording around. I do evening gowns.
Right.
Evening wear. It's a gown. That's pretty much what it is. I'm like, it's a gown. You know, and I don't have a particular event of what it's for, and that also alters my prom. I have ladies who get the prom door to prom wear, and it's well over $2,000.
Right.
So It's just if you want to, afford that part. I don't knock anybody for what they can afford and nothing like that. But if you're coming to me, you're going to spend some money because I'm going to take my time to make sure it's right.
Nice.
Gotcha.
So let me
Gotcha.
ask you that now that you're moving into more manufacturing, do you still want to keep it kind of exclusive so you have those tier systems with your high net worth clientele? Or do you want to get into the, I don't even know the major stores anymore, phrase like the
Yeah.
Macy's or
Macy's,
Well,
Bloomingdale still out
Saks,
there,
Saks
and
Fifth Avenue. How
Jackson
does that?
Avenue. So you
Yeah.
got a few stores still there.
I I want to pretty much kind of target smaller bridal boutiques because they keep it more intimate situation for clients. So I'm able to probably fly in, uh, still sketch, and still be able to keep a intimate situation with them versus having so many dresses flooded everywhere.
Hmm.
I am not focused on becoming the richest person when it comes to bridal.
Yeah.
Um, I want to, my thing is to still be comfortable and still be able to do other business ventures. There's other things I want to do other than just designing. So, I not even just gowns. I want to go into more of ready to wear for women, day wear. I'm working on that with another company and just other ventures I want to do. That has nothing to do with designing. So I'm not that type of person that really want to just take over the world when it comes to fashion. Now, I'll be honest with you. Another reason why I don't is because it's a secret society when it comes to a lot of fashion,
Yeah.
and
True.
I don't feel like going through the whole hoopla of these foundations and these and can I do this and can I do that and you want to buy me out and all this kind of stuff. I don't even want to even go there. So I love fashion. I'm okay with having it on a mid scale. Not I know I'm getting
Yeah.
away from the small, and I'm fine with that. I don't have a goal to want to be Gucci. So it's like yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, but Fraser, let me ask you
Yes.
a question real quick.
You
Um,
got me.
when you talk about the gatekeepers when it comes to fashion,
Charles Jefferson.
Fraser, I got you.
Take
Okay.
it.
When you come to the gatekeepers that talk about fashion, the industry, as you know, is $1 billion industry worldwide yearly, couple $1 billion at more, you know, and their job. Now when you say that? Okay, let me be very specific before they banned our show phrase.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
You see how I was going around the subject?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
you know,
show.
when do you feel like that they have control enough to say, okay, they're getting too big, or they're not conforming to what we see? Because in the media now, we're seeing this huge push for natural figures. We're seeing full body. The last couple of years, there's been the push in the modeling industry that they don't want to see anorexic models anymore. They want to see models that look like represent everyday society. And because I used to model way, way, way back in the day, that also changes the way that people design. Like I said in the beginning, I was bodybuilder type body. So everybody was like, I don't got nothing for him. I don't got anything for him. I had to go to specific for people to put me in certain things. But that wasn't mainstream until athletic companies needed, football companies needed this, that, and the third model, basketball company or a weightlifting company that has a line of clothes. You would model for that kind of thing. Do you really think? Let me say that. Do you really think? Do you see it more where they try to say, okay, you stay in your lane, you do this, she's getting too big, send somebody to buy her out, so forth and so on, just for them to keep their grips on it so they don't let it go to the point where they just feel like anybody can be a designer and do well?
You know, like we're gonna find the words to say this, right?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Let's take that in. Okay. I'm gonna put it like this. How many of us do you really see represented in any genre of fashion?
Hmm.
True.
That's your answer right there.
There you go.
And it's no, and it's like I can't be blind to that.
Right.
So I'm not, and I'm not cut up to go with the fight for it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I feel as if even when I go back to Zelda Wynn Valdez, let's be for real, she's the person who came up with the mermaid gown look, you know. I've seen a lot of designers copy her. No one gives her credit.
Right.
And even when it comes to fashion, a lot of the times either you're not gonna get the funding you need, because a lot of people say, "Oh, like fashion, that's a touchy subject. We don't want to invest in fashion," you know. Even from the magazine exposures, you're urban. But however, we don't have any laws that protect us, because if I made a gown today and it was this wonderful gown, right? Yep. Next week somebody can just change the sleeve and it be the same look or even something similar to it. There's nothing to protect me.
Right.
And I always say that if it's nothing set there to protect you, it's a reason.
Right.
Because every day you gotta think of so much clothes gotta come out. So you're gonna look at it like, let me see who's doing something this week. Oh, it's a new designer. Let me follow this person. Oh, let's take that idea. What can I do? I can't do anything.
Right.
So things like that always make me realize, like, hey, it's more to this.
Right.
I might like it because I love fashion, but it's a whole nother type of group behind me that's like, okay, she doing too much right now.
Yeah.
Make that call. Tell me when to buy her out. And you got to think about it. Like, that's why a lot of times when people like, oh, there's not that many black companies out right now. And why they sell. I don't know what happened on that phone call.
Yeah. So
I stopped, like, giving my opinion about that because I don't know what's going on in the background. And I don't want to be in that position. Right. Of why, because you're looking around like, did y'all really have to sell? Or is there something more to that I don't understand?
Exactly.
Because I haven't been there. So I always think about all that. And it just makes me like, it's so many ways to make money in the world. Like, I don't really want to be that person that's like that big where I have to watch my back and what I'm doing. That's because I want to design. So I don't, some people may differ, like, somebody got to do it, but hey, it won't be me. You know what I mean? Exactly. That's what I'm here for. So,
I'm going to say the same thing, too. I'll go back to back Judge. I was the Model 2 Judge. I was a slimmer Model Judge. I got all the contracts. Yeah, okay. No, but back then when I was in high school, I was smaller. I looked like everybody. So that's the bad thing about other parts.
I look like everybody.
Put it this way. I can shave my hair. I look everywhere out. Real look this way. Come my hair look this way. I look 40 people at one time. So that's why I'm so marketable as a model, because they can tell who I am. They can tell about black or white, Chinese. They don't know what that was. And it's funny. It's funny to say.
The white phrase. Come on, man.
I can't be white. Now I ain't saying white. I ain't Michael Jackson yet, but I don't know. I was halfway there. I was close. Hey, it paid enough. I did it. I ain't lie. I did it. I do white enough quick.
Okay.
But to say that, Joe, though, it happened on both sides of the truth. Also, if you're a model, you've seen a lot. You see what she's talking about. You see a lot of fashion designer. You hear them arguing in the background. You don't see what outside. You see them arguing in the background. Oh, that's like my outfit. And you ever see a TV series, a soap opera that was just about fashion? I think it was Bold and Beautiful. I'm not sure what it was.
I used to love that show. Fashion.
And they would go how cutthroat it was in the industry, how they were doing this. They still did. They had a high design months before they even come out. Mm-hmm. They steal it, and before you know it, it release for you in a fight to release. So once it come out, now you got to release it right away. So you got to rush. To me, I think it's more frustrating.
It is.
I wouldn't even want that part of it. Honest, Joy, I wouldn't even want that part of being collected because it's too frustrating. Think about it. I got to fight you. I got to beat you out. Got to come out in new shorts. The blue, black, green. Come on, I can't do all that. Too much work.
It is nothing like you design something that came from your heart and then a company just steals it.
Snatch it up.
At this point, I'm used to it. I know it's going to happen. But the first time that happened to me, I will not disclose the company. Whatever it is, what it is. I had one of my old clients choosing in LA, and she was like, "Hey, this your design," and I'm like, "Here we go." Yeah, I remember, and this is one that I will say is funny. I did a dress for Erica Campbell for Dove Awards, and it probably was like not even a week later. They done cut the top of her head, stuck the picture up there We create this. It was so bad. I had someone contact me because the dress didn't fit right.
Right.
And she was like, "Aren't you the designer of this?" I'm like, I have not really. If I created it, you had to come get it from me. And I don't know what you paid for it, but yeah, I didn't make your gown, man. I'm so sorry. And right. You feel like, wow, like you really just took. I mean, not even created and put it on a new model. You just took the picture.
Right.
Right. Like, now this is what it's gonna look like. Yeah, we made this. So it's a thing where after a while, how you just get adjusted to it.
Yeah.
I see a lot. I don't know if you see a lot of designers. They're like, "Hey, this person copied me. This person copied me. This copied." I don't even fuss anymore. I make announcements on my page. And I'm like, "Hey, if you see this, I didn't make it. Just let you know ahead of time." I just get humor out of it now. And that's how I deal with it now because ain't nothing I can do about it.
I know, right? If it look smaller than normal than me, I ain't do it. If it's too big,
I ain't do it. Like, don't call me saying don't fit because I ain't make it.
So how do you remedy that? Because look, I'd have been more than upset with the picture, and she's calling you and be like, "I didn't make the dress," but I'm the designer.
There's nothing you can do about it.
So
there's not an attorney you can call for it. Nothing you can patent, anything. So it's just like either you want to say this is what I love to do, and pray that God always gives you some type of new thing to come up with, and you don't let it bother you. Until they find a way to patent it, it's really nothing we can do about it. And at this point, I stopped arguing about it. It is what it is. People are like, "Oh, be flattered about it." No, I ain't flattered about it. I'm mad, but
right.
flattery, no. But I mean, it's just nothing I can do about it. So I just try to find. And this is the thing is, I always tell I have like interns or people who come to me for advice when it comes to fashion. I tell them this. Because a lot of people are asking me, "Well, how do you get celebrities to wear your stuff? And how you blah, blah, blah?" And I'm like, look, okay. This is the rundown I give people. Here we go. I had to realize that, back in the day, what people paid for advertising with radio, TV, newspapers, magazines, whatever, right? So now digital is our advertising for majority of us, something digital. So I always say that if I actually send a gown or if someone pulls a gown, I just count that as my marketing.
Right.
Most likely that designer, that celebrity or influencer or whoever it is, has a greater market of followers or viewers than I do.
Right.
So I just take that as a moment to advertise. Now, versus me having to call the radio stations, spend $5,000 for a month, I just go ahead and send a design to somebody and look how many views I got from that.
That's right.
Look how many people actually saw me. And I just start thinking, differently and as business minded rather than personal,
Exactly.
So I tell a lot of people that, but this is a kicker. When you put yourself out there, just know that there's somebody looking with another type of motive.
Yes.
And that motive might be, "Hey, I'm about to copy this,"
Yeah.
And you can't be mad because that's one thing about, I would say, a lot of Black designers. We're going through with the whole passion of loving designing, but we haven't thought about the business process of it.
Right.
Like, why, like we haven't went to a manufacturer and by the time that person wear this, I already have 100 of them ready to go out to make my money. So if I don't have that, I'm setting myself up for anybody to copy me. So I can't get mad at that.
They call it what does they call it phrase? Getting inspiration.
Getting inspiration, I just said.
Yeah, pretty much.
I tell you old school. It's old school way. I tell you, it's old school way. It works very, very perfectly. Record as you making it, and you record every inch of it, any different way you can think you can make it that dress, and you do whatever. Put in a video, and you take pictures of it. You put an envelope and mail it to yourself.
That don't work with fashion.
That's poor man copyright phrase. That's
that poor man copyright. They're me in court.
No, hold the court. You know why I say that? Because if the only person open is the judge, right? So the person says, you only ask one question. did you fully make that dress authentic to yourself? He says, yes, I did. I made it. There's no I made everything to it. He just admitted to himself that he's a single person on that dress. So when the judge opened that package, guess what happens?
No, you're absolutely right. That does work for music. That actually does work
for
music.
Yeah, and the thing is, I used to write. I used to actually write, and I used to send things to myself. Yeah, but you know what's so crazy though? When social media came out, you know we got timestamps for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So that's the only thing you know a lot of people go on like, hey, look and see exactly when I actually posted this versus when they posted. I mean, I see it so much. And I think a lot of times people like who have done it a little bit longer, like I have, we get to a point where it's just like whatever. It's like, you know, and like I said, hey, you have to think business minded. If you're gonna put this out here, if you don't have the manpower to create these orders that are trying to come to your thing, hey, it's a loss. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And the thing is to be smarter and build your business credit. Be able to work with some manufacturers so that by the time you can keep designs on the low hush. So when you do give it to this person and they wear it, and when people say who we get that from, and they contact you, it's already on your website.
Right.
The people can do that, or you can go and say, hey, let's pre-order now. Like if you're not, at least do a pre-order or something like that. But you still have to understand that if you're selling everything by yourself, or whatever you're doing, you're paying yourself. Like you're about to take on a crowd of people that you cannot do. And next thing is going to happen, guess what? They're gonna go online.
Yeah.
And let everybody know that you did a horrible job. They didn't get this stuff on time and everything. So I think about all that kind of stuff, like before.
Gotcha. That's crazy how things were there. It's crazy how things are that you can overdoing things. Like that's why I say something you start small and stay small, stay what you can do, what you can't do. And then something too, like you say, start small, make a small manufacturer, small company with some people to make for you. Or I hate to say it. Don't kill me.
Because the thing with social media,
China, they will make 1,000 in 1 hour.
With social media, it makes everything look big.
Yeah,
and people don't want to start from the bottom. They just want to. I want to be here,
Yeah,
and not thinking about the lessons you're supposed to learn as you go up.
Exactly.
And if you just I would say pandemic, right? A lot of people started businesses.
Yeah.
And it was a great time to start a business, but I just want to see how those businesses are doing now.
Yeah.
Because everyone's not sitting at home on the phone just ordering stuff, That was a great time to make that money during that time. But what do you do when people went back to work and they went back to regular life almost? Like, how do you gain those people back? What do you do? Because I'm sure a lot of people here, and then it's like, hold on, what happened? Because you never experienced what to do in the middle.
Right.
You just went from here to here. You like, I made this. This is my first month. I made this. Yeah, but do you know why you made that?
Right.
And that's the thing, And I think a lot of designers did that too. It was, when people went outside, opened back up, people was ready to wear stuff. It was a great time to design. But hey, it's back normal now.
Now it's everybody do everything that. So, I mean, saying that is, how do you adjust to that after COVID in your marketing and getting people to know your design by you being small? Like you say, you have a special clientele. Do you go by more word of mouth, or do you actually use social media influence? How do you get that back to that?
Both works for me. When I started business, period, I started business before social media. That was on the time when social media was probably like kind of starting. I was a hairstylist at one time, and then I went into a boutique. So this is back the time when flyers was your friend.
Oh yeah.
And Facebook was pretty much like only like friends at that time. Like it really wasn't by region. So I started business back when your friends and family and local people would let you know you was hot or not.
Right.
It wasn't social media like telling you hot. If your local neighborhood, if you couldn't survive, that means you weren't really supposed to be in business. That's how it was back then, you know.
Right.
You knew back then your state would tell you if you used to be a business owner or not, you know. It's either they're gonna spread the word that you bad or you were good, you know. So
Exactly.
I always keep that in mind. So I am very, 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 very strong on customer service. That's number one. I'm very strong on customer service. I talk about it a lot, even on my podcast with my friend. It's like that's the number one thing. I need for people to tell somebody else, and that's a lot of my referrals because someone referred them to me.
Right.
Regardless if they refer somebody from another state or whatever, and a lot of times it's a referral, and I reviews, and you know, just people like a lot of my clients. They are my favorites. They wish you would go on my page and say something stupid.
Right.
They will come. No, I don't know what happened on that day, but it's not my Travian. She was not.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
it's good to have those people in your corner, and people know that okay, this person is legit. You know, so I will say that social media is a good thing, but still keep that good customer service because customer service for word of mouth. To me, you're able to charge more. You're able to charge on your worth because people have already verified you. It's not a blue check.
Yep.
It's
Right.
a real person. You know, like
Right.
the blue check verified from that person. Like this person is legit.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. Well, listen, we have to wrap up. I do appreciate again you taking the time to come on the show. Give us
All right.
That's fun, guy. I was like, what am I gonna talk about? I know. I'm like, hey, hello. What are we talking about? I'm like, y'all know what I do, right? I know I be funny on Travian Nicole, but you know, I have a, and I tell somebody they like, you know, I got a real profession. I'm a designer. Like, I know I be cracking up laughing. I'm a podcast comedian. That's what I think I am.
Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at two different places. You want to laugh? You can find me on Travian.Nicole. So it's the name Travian.Nicole. And if you want a gown, a creation, you can find me on Travian Vann. So either way, both pages point back to me.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Okay,
website too. Okay, let me put it like this. Now I have a website, www.travianvan.com. I keep it professional. Yeah, I take consultations. It's a whole process. I have an admin that does that. It's not me. So yeah, pretty much we're doing that.
Beautiful.
Well, you got any tip for young girl who want to be a fashion designer who don't have the skills or think may I go to school just to be a successful fashion designer?
I'm self-taught. So I would say, you know, if a lot of times it's a God-given gift, God-given talent. And if not, it can be taught also. So, you know, there are online courses you can take. I take courses abroad. I've taken courses from designers in other countries.
Mhm.
So, you know, you have to be willing to pay. And a lot of people always want free stuff, but free stuff doesn't always give you all the skills that you need.
Right.
So, and I wish a lot of people will know that, like, you know, regardless of what you're doing, sometimes you need to pay to actually, you know, get better with your skill. Real estate, it don't matter.
Right.
Exactly.
Hairstylist, whatever. YouTube is good, but sometimes you just need that one-on-one.
Right.
Exactly.
All
So
right,
true.
Grace.
Well,
Tell us.
here's my favorite speech I give everybody to come on the show. You're going to get a kick out of it. You're going to laugh all day. Welcome to the George and Fraser family. We can laugh all the time you want to now.
Okay.
We
Thanks for
family.
having me, guys.
Absolutely. Anything you need as
Anything
far
you
as
need.
help with sponsoring and promotion, just let us know. We'll put it on our social media.
got you.
Definitely will. Definitely will. Thank you for having me.
We
The
definitely-
pleasure. We have fun. The blast.
I know, right? Thank you, guys.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right now.
Oh, man.
Told
Told
y'all
you,
we had a
George.
good show.
Told
Definitely.
you, George. I wasn't here together. Told you. I told you to bang a George.
All
Can I
right.
call it?
You called it. So check her out. Make sure you check out her webpage. Check out everything she's saying. I hope you guys listen to some of those gems she was dropping about business, about marketing, managing, creative ways to market and use sponsorship and those things. You know, those are all tips that you can use in everyday life. So keep it going. We'll definitely keep it going. Check
And
us out. This is our 150th podcast. So, you know, we still out here banging and grinding. Check us out on all social media platforms, including Spotify and Pandora. Hey, this is George.
exactly. This is Fred. Hey, and subscribe. Be a fan. Come
That's
join
right.
us.
Real talk with George and Fraser. Peace.